So I'm sitting here with Carly Jacobsen. Carly is one of the founders of what you see here, Rviita Energy Tea. This sweetheart brought me a box of these teas. If you have never tried them, this is your sign to go out and try them. They're all delicious. What is it? Seven flavors?
Seven flavors now, you bet.
Seven flavors. They are all natural. I think they're what, like 30 calories? Wow, I've got a good memory per what do you call this? A pouch?
Called a pouch.
It's a pouch. Black tea, green tea, good chunk of caffeine, but it's good caffeine. It's not like an energy drink, which could actually hurt you. And you know me, a health coach, I like to talk about whole foods. And so having Carly on here has been super aligned because the brand, the company that her and her brother have started are super aligned when it comes to values. And I just want to have a little chit chat with you, a little health chat about your whole kind of journey in Rviita and also you being a woman in business, in health, all of the relative things. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for being here. Big round of applause. Thank you.
Aw, thanks, Kelsey. That introduction was amazing. You nailed the sales pitch. You're hired.
Oh,
But it's so nice to be here. I really admire what you're building with the show. And I was so grateful to have the invitation. I'm excited to introduce myself and the brand to your community. So thank you so much for having me. It's going to be fun.
thank you for being here. She's also, outside of Rviita, she's the sweetest human being in the whole world. Everyone that I've talked to leading up to this, I'm like, yeah, I'm interviewing Carly. She's just such a sweetheart. And people are like, oh, that's fun. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, stoked that you're here.
That's so nice to
stoked.
hear. Appreciate it so much.
Of course. So I want to start by asking about like 7 years ago, because Rviita started 7 years ago. And without diving into like business, I more so want to know about what made you decide to leave your career, because I did some research. You were working as a nurse or in nursing.
Yeah, that's correct.
You decided to say, we're not doing that. I'm going all in on food.
So it's kind of good question, Kelsey. It's kind of a crazy story. So we started 7 years ago. I started the company with my brother, Mitch. And Kelsey introduced the product already. It's a better for you energy drink. And I never thought in a million years that I would enter the world of business, let alone food. My brother was the entrepreneurial one, and I was the creative one. So when we were kids, he was the kid that was going door to door, trying to sell stuff, having lemonade stands. He invested in real estate. He tried to sell life insurance for a while. He always dreamed of having a business. I think he gets it from my dad. We have an entrepreneurial family. My dad's a business owner. He started from scratch an engineering firm here in Calgary, and they employ now over 250 people. My grandparents were entrepreneurs, so I think we have it in our blood. And Mitch always wanted to start a business, and he would run all his ideas by me. We were very close, and we would play off of the ideas and just have fun talking about it. And yeah, like Kelsey said, I used to be a nurse. I worked in cardiac surgery at Foothills Hospital. I loved it at the time. I'm super, super grateful for my experience as a nurse. But I kind of knew from the minute that I walked on to the hospital unit that I was working at that I wanted something more. There was a creative part of me. I was super into photography and messing around with graphic design. I had these really big ideas, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get that in my nursing job. And the reason behind a beverage brand is Mitch actually had a really good friend that had a minor heart attack from drinking energy drinks. So when they were in their early 20s, as young 20 somethings do, they were out on the town drinking all these energy drinks, trying to stay awake. And all of a sudden, he clutches his chest, starts having all this pain, shortness of breath. Mitch, you need to take me to the hospital. So Mitch rushed him to the emergency room, and he had a minor heart attack, which they said was attributed to these energy drinks. So Mitch had started to think about, why isn't there something better for you? I know you see that all the time, Kelsey, like being a health coach, there's all these sugary drinks on the market. They're full of chemicals, artificial sweeteners. They're not good for you. And people are drinking them. Even people in the fitness industry And I certainly drank them too at the hospital, being a nurse, trying to stay awake on my night shifts.
In cardiac
And
too. That's
cardiac
what you're working
too.
in.
Exactly. And so Mitch started to have this idea of like, why isn't there something healthier? And we couldn't find one. So let's make it. So Mitch
Mm.
came to me one day. I was probably 3 years into my nursing career. I would have been 23 years old at the time. He came to me and he said, Carly, I have this idea. It sounds really crazy, but I can't stop thinking about it. I want to make a better for you energy drink. And you're so creative. You're so good at photography. Would you help me? Like, would you be a part of it? And so when Mitch first came to me, he asked me to help him out with the Instagram, with the photography, with maybe a little bit of the marketing and sales and just bounce ideas off. And when I think back to it, not for 1 second did I hesitate. I had this visceral knowing inside of me that it would be something great and that I wanted to be a part of it. And just because of the relationship that I had with my brother, we were so close. I
Mhm.
was just all in from the minute that he came to me. And it's been a crazy journey. We're 7 years in, but that's where it all started.
That is incredible. You are such a good storyteller. I'm like, you just took me on the journey of all of this. And I want to go back to entrepreneurs in your family because that spoke to me. My whole family is
Mhm.
entrepreneurs too, which is like, hi, that's why I'm here doing this because it is in your blood. With it being in your blood so deeply, why or what made you still pursue nursing
That's a good question.
beforehand? Yeah.
Yeah. And I've really contemplated that too. And I think, you know, my parents, my dad is very entrepreneurial, and my mom worked more in the healthcare side. So, my mom, she is the kindest, most loving, most generous person I've ever met in my whole life. I have amazing parents, and my mom worked with people that had disabilities. So, at the time, the program is called something different now, but it was called community rehabilitation. So, she worked in a facility and she looked after people that had disabilities like cerebral palsy, and she loved it. She did it for years until she had kids. So my mom brought that nurturing side, and my dad was more of the entrepreneurial. So I think I got that desire to be a nurse and to want to help people from my mom. And growing up being that more creative, I had all these ideas, but I didn't quite have a tactical idea yet or the confidence to want to pursue something yet. And
Mhm.
I wanted to go to school. I wanted to choose a career that would be stable until I figured things out. And
Mhm.
I think from the way I was raised with my mom and wanting to help people, nursing called to me. So at the time, it
Mhm.
felt very aligned for what I wanted to do. And that's why I went down that path. And while it's a huge career shift to go from healthcare to the beverage industry, I think there's actually a lot of tie over because that
Mhm.
empathetic nature that you need to be a nurse, the hard work, the discipline, the time management, and the way that you have to prioritize things actually has bled over very well into
Mhm.
business. So I really feel like I was put in that career path for a reason. Yeah.
Totally, totally. That I love that. You're so well spoken and the why behind it too, like that couldn't have been more aligned with you wanting to be in that helping role as a nurse. And then your brother having that incident with his friend, it's like, oh, this is still helping. Like there's a really deep why behind this. We
Mhm.
want to make sure people have access to something that's, still going to give them energy, but there's a healthy reason behind it. So the creative piece, you bring that in, you step in, and this is now 7 years ago, where you're like Instagram, I'm guessing, Facebook, like all the marketing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was your role. What has the journey been like since then? And what are you doing now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I
Mhm.
think like any scrappy startup, Mitch and I had kind of defined roles in the early days, but it quickly evolved into you're doing a little bit of everything. So Mitch and I have always geared towards different things. He's very analytical. He's been the guy that's looking at the numbers. He's designed our whole manufacturing facility, more the operations, and I've led the sales piece. But Mitch and I have done everything under the sun. Like from the early days, We were doing, of course, all the social media, all the marketing, but we also packed and shipped and delivered every single order. We went to every single event. We knocked on grocery store doors to get our product and, onto store shelves. We've done customer service. We've both been the janitor. We've both been the accountant and the bookkeeper. So there's been all kinds of different hats that we've had to wear over the years, which has been a really fun journey to learn all these different skills. Because I look back and I'm like, wow, I never pictured myself doing that. But I think it's a testament to just what you can learn when you apply yourself. But
Mm.
fast forward to now, my role has evolved more into a high level sales role. So we're very fortunate to have grown our team. So every single job that we used to do in the early days ourselves, because we did every single thing like inside and out, it helped us to be able to find the right people for those positions that will thrive. And we can also train people the right way because we've done everything ourselves. So we have an amazing office manager now who does all of our financials, all of our accounting. We have an operations manager. We have people to run our production line. I even have people now that do demos and sales for me, which is incredible. So now Mitch and I can focus more on the business development. So where's the company going? We're working on new branding right now. Like what retailers can we get into? And
Mhm.
also just managing and leading a team with all the different moving pieces. So my role has evolved a lot over the years. But what's
Mhm.
exciting is I get to fill in those gaps and create new roles, which I love doing.
Yeah, that's that creative side of
Exactly.
your brain. And I love what you said about Mitch, too, your brother, how he has more of that like analytical, logical, masculine side, just like as men and women. It sounds
Hmm.
like you balance each other so well. And it doesn't just sound like it, I think we can see it from the outside looking in, watching how Revita has grown. And I've known you for, I think, about three
I
years
think so
now.
now. Yeah.
And even just seeing that, we met at it was an event. It was an event in MNP Center.
Yeah, it was.
You were giving out Revita for free. And even then, I remember I came up to the booth and you were like, take a full box. And here we
Oh
are
yeah.
again, doing the same thing. So
Full
sweet. But
circle.
yeah, seeing just those last 3 years of how you've really grown into yourself as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner has been so inspiring.
Yeah.
And it's cool to know how many kind of hats you had to wear in order to get there. And I think anyone listening who might be, thinking about starting a business, or maybe they're in the early stages where they're like, I'm not ready. I know that's a big fear that
Hmm.
comes up for a lot of people. Like, when am I going to be ready? I want to ask you that question. How did you know, maybe at the beginning or going from hat to hat, position to position, when you were ready to give it up and move on, or ready to, step into the next thing? How do you really know?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I don't know if you ever really know if you're ready. I think if you 100% wait to be ready to do anything, I don't know if you're ever going to do it. Like, I even think back to the early days of the company. Like, if we waited until everything, like, we had the perfect idea, the perfect branding, the perfect messaging, we never would have started. So I think
Mhm.
there's an element of you have to just kind of act on those gut instincts of like if you know something's right and you know you're being called to it, you have to take action even if it's imperfect. I think
Mhm.
we're all very afraid of what people think and about needing to be perfect and paint this perfect picture
Mhm.
online of what we're doing. You need to have all your, I's dotted and T's crossed, but I don't think that that actually will get you anywhere because if you keep waiting for to be ready, you'll never act on it.
Yeah.
In terms of being ready to move into a new role or delegate, I think I almost sometimes waited a little bit too long to pass off those things. I have a tendency, and Mitch does too, where we think that we can do absolutely everything ourselves. We tend to take on sometimes like more than we can chew and just think, I can wear 10 hats, I can do 10 jobs. So there's certain roles where I wish I delegated it sooner,
Mhm.
especially because there's certain things that I've delegated and I had this prideful attitude of like nobody can do it better than me. And
Mhm.
then I bring in people who are 10 times better than me, who love doing these jobs. They thrive in them. and it's amazing for the company. And I'm sitting there thinking, why didn't I do this a year ago?
Yeah.
So I don't know if Mitch and I have ever felt ready to make moves in our business or in our lives. I think Mitch and have just been good at taking action and not being afraid to
Mhm.
look bad or to screw something up. Because that's
Mhm.
also how you learn. It's cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, I love the cliches. I think like this conversation, it is so growth minded and entrepreneurial, and I resonate with a lot of what you said in that never really being ready. If you're waiting to be ready, you're going to wait forever because there really is no time that's like, okay, I'm ready. Like all the ducks are in a row. There's no such thing as that. And the other piece that I feel like I can really resonate with in my own experience, and I want to ask you more about, is delegating too late because you feel like you can do everything and,
Mhm.
taking on all of the tasks, wearing all of the hats. I relate to that. And I think a lot of other entrepreneurs do too, because this is your baby. You birthed this. You guys did. No one else did. So it's scary to be like, okay, like here, take a piece of it. It's really scary to do that. And I think there's nothing wrong with you as a human for wanting to hold on. But the opposite piece of it, of holding on to all of the tasks, all of the hats, is your own well-being,
Mhm.
which I want to ask you about because as I mean, a human one, but a woman too, especially in business. How did wearing all of those hats, holding on to all of those tasks impact your own well-being?
Oh, that's such a good question. And I feel
Mhm.
like nobody talks about it. And I think I'm really proud of what we've built with Rviita, but maybe something that I'm not as proud of is living more of an unbalanced way the past 7 years. And I don't know if true balance exists because I think there has to be periods of imbalance in order to achieve what you want to achieve. And I know wholeheartedly that if Mitch and I hadn't been all in, these past 7 years and had to sacrifice sleep, personal relationships, free time, vacations, there's no way that we would get to where we are now. And I feel super fortunate that we're in a position where we have more brand awareness. We have a great team, so I can take more time for myself. But that's been really hard because, especially when you're playing in the entrepreneur space, you start following these entrepreneur type influencers. There's a lot of aggression and hustle and work more and
Mhm.
work smarter and be efficient and do this. And it's hard to live up to that pressure sometimes. And I've been super guilty of putting myself to a very high standard, and it has hurt me. It's hurt my relationships and it's hurt my own health and well-being, and that's something that I've been trying to find and get back in the past year.
Mhm.
But it's also been a learning experience, right?
Totally. And I appreciate you sharing because you're right. It's not spoken about enough. And I mean, here's me trying to have more of those
Totally.
conversations of like, hey, there's truth and there's pain and there's hurt and there's like struggle behind what we've made and what we've built. And yeah, again, like thank you for sharing that because I think a lot of people they just see the finished product. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I could do that. Maybe I could do that." And absolutely you can do anything and there is usually I would say like it shouldn't be sugar coated. There is a lot of hustle and grind and shit that you give up in order to get there. So, you said for the last year you've been kind of like refocusing you're into yourself and into your
Mhm.
health. What has that journey been like? What have you been
Yeah,
doing?
no, that's a great question. So, the last year, like I said, we've been super fortunate. We've been able to hire a team, which has helped immensely. And I do understand what it's like to be in the early stages of business and you can't afford to do that. Like you have no other option but to do everything yourself. So Mitch and I are super fortunate to have gotten to a point where we can start to delegate things. And in the early days, like that was just simply not an option. Like we didn't have the money for it. We
Mhm.
had to raise money to keep our business going. We almost went under multiple times. So it required that sacrifice. But since bringing on staff, like I have been able to step back a little bit and take a break from the day-to-day stuff and focus my time more intentionally on things that move the needle forward, which is actually what I need to be doing. And
Mhm.
so maybe on paper that means not working as many hours. I'm not in the backpacking orders anymore. I'm not on the production line anymore. I'm not doing grocery store demos anymore, which are all very important things. And I tell everyone who comes into our organization, like every job is important here.
Mhm.
But now that I get to have more of my own time back, maybe I'm working some days still 12 hours a day, but maybe some days it's 6. But it's, taking important meetings, meeting with big banner retailers, working on content that excites me. And
Mhm.
that working on those things that moves the needle forward also plays into that creative side. So it's actually
Mhm.
very soul fulfilling and it brings me a lot of energy in life and I feel good again, but also it allows me to have more time in my schedule. Like going for a daily walk has become a non-negotiable for me, trying to get into the gym a couple days a week, like taking more time to meal prep, like go to acupuncture appointments, actually
Mhm.
take time to invest in myself again, which in turn only pours back into the business because when you take care of yourself as a business owner and you feel good,
Mhm.
exponentially more productive.
Yeah, you're spot on, spot on. And I love that seeing that transition too, again, like following the story that's like, yeah, we had to do it all. I had to do it all. And now through experience, you know how to work not harder, but smarter. And I also love that you said like some days, yeah, it is still 12 hours. And I think that just shows the passion, which a lot of people not in business, they might not understand, like, why would you want to work 12 hours, 16-hour days? But when it's something that, and you won't get it until you get it, when it's something you love and care about so much, it's almost weird not to put that time in
Totally.
because your business, it is your life. There's no work life balance. It's like, no, this is everything. So my life, living is moment by moment. It's going to be me pouring into the things that I care about and I want to see grow. So love to hear that you're finding that your form of balance and also pouring into your health and your wellness and your fitness and
Inspired by
nutrition.
you.
Like you're so inspiring. You're like so inspiring. But you're right. Like you if you don't have you, if you don't have your health, you can continue to chase. I mean, a lot of people look at it as like wealth, money, financials. But if you don't have you, how can you actually chase it? If you don't, train, how are you going to run for it?
Exactly.
So hearing that you've prioritized those kind of things, it makes me so, so happy. And I'll continue to try and inspire
Me
and tell you to
too.
do
Me too
more
every
and
day.
come to yoga. But yeah, so that's kind of where you're at now. You seem very balanced. You definitely like feel grounded in it. What I want to know a bit more about, and I'm sure other people do too, is kind of the vision with Rviita, because you started 7 years ago. We know a bit about the journey. What is the grand vision, if there even
No,
is something? It's a big
that's such a
question.
good question. It's evolving over time, and Mitch and I often sit down, like usually every 6 months or so, and kind of actually talk about where we want to take it. But from day one, the whole purpose of it is we want to help people.
Mm.
So, kind of what you were mentioning about like going from nursing, wanting to help people, this is a business that helps people. And I believe that every great business is solving a problem, solving a need, it's
Mhm.
helping other people. So Mitch and I like really believe in the product itself. It's so cool. Like customers write into us all the time that, Revita has made them, it's helped them make the switch from these like awful energy drinks. They feel better. Like it's so heartwarming. The community that we're creating, we host group events and the other really amazing thing is the opportunities and the careers that we're creating. That is such a part that it's been such an unexpected blessing and outcome is getting to hire people for the roles and see them thrive and also, build a career and be able to put food on the table for their families. That is the coolest feeling. And so I just hope that we continue to be able to get our product into more hands so that we can help more people with the product, but also hire more people. I'm really passionate about creating jobs in Calgary. Like we built our own manufacturing facility up in the Northwest. We employ 12 people and we're growing. And that is the coolest thing for me. Like, I want to get to 100 people and create careers and opportunities. But so that's kind of the ultimate vision. But, we want to see Revita everywhere where beverages get sold. That's what we're working towards.
Yeah. Oh, that's so impact driven. And I was looking and I want to hear them from you a little bit more, but like those values, I was looking into the values of the company and it seems like a very heart forward company. Like you guys lead with your hearts. I can absolutely feel it. I'm sure people
Totally.
listening right now, they're like, whoa, like I haven't tried one of these. Like, let me get to where are you at? Co-op, Costco, like
Yep.
go get one for sure. um, but creating those careers for people, I think that's something too that is often overlooked. It's so much more than just a product that you're creating and you're giving to people, but it's that back end behind the scenes. Those people, they get to go home and they get to feed their families because of
Hmm.
this like ripple effect that you're making in the beverage industry, which is incredible. But tell us more about those values because, like I said, I feel it. I'm very energetic. I feel like I feel everything. What are those main values
Yeah,
in the
good question.
company?
So our core values are growing every year, but our four original ones, and if for anyone watching on video, I'll actually like show you in our logo here. We have a diamond around our logo, and that was to symbolize the four core values when we first started the company. So it was faith, fitness, freedom, and family, which were
Mhm.
things that were really important to Mitch and I, of course, being a family business. Our faith is really important to us. It requires a large amount of faith to build a company the size that we want to build it to. Freedom in terms of, we got this from our dad, but we saw the freedom that he was able to create for himself and for his employees by building his company and by doing things his own way. And then fitness as well, because we're a health and fitness brand. We created it
Mhm.
for people who want a better for you option. It's a huge part of our marketing. We love working with gyms, with fitness influencers. We do our group hike every year. So those were kind of the four core values that we started the company on. And we're growing it every year. But that was the foundation. And we started that 7 years ago, and it still holds true today.
Yeah, oh, I love those. And you saying all of them, like I got chills because I'm like,
Oh,
I feel it. I absolutely feel it. And I think that's what really differentiates your business from any of the other, stuff that you might see is you are so like family forward and like the freedom and the fitness community, like all of that, you feel it. You absolutely feel it. It's harder to even, you can't even put it into words because it is a feeling. Like truly, it's a feeling. I'm so stoked for you
I
guys.
appreciate it. You know what? We always say like the teaser, they're just a catalyst for what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about like selling an energy drink, it's so much more than that. So I appreciate you noticing and
Of
giving me the
course.
opportunity to share with everybody too. It means a lot.
Definitely. There's one thing I want to kind of scoot back to a little bit in wellness because this is a conversation I have quite often, I would say, with like other coaches in the wellness space. And it's the the theme that tends to happen with very driven and ambitious individuals, and especially in the wellness space, because you just mentioned fitness is one of those values. Why do you think it is that we so often give up our own wellness in order to give it to other people?
That's such a good question. And I wish I had a good answer. I think that's something that I've had to learn for myself. I
Mhm.
think too, as women, we tend to be more self-sacrificing for the pursuit of other people. And it is like, why do we do that? I don't
Mhm.
know. Because really, if we actually become quote unquote more selfish and take that time to put ourselves first, it actually does pour out into everybody else. So I
Mhm.
don't know if it's a societal thing or a cultural thing,
Yeah.
but I think it's something that we need to work to change.
Yeah, I am with you. The why, like the answer is kind of unknown, but I like to ask it, especially to other women, because it's a theme for us where we're like, oh no, but I have like this other, client I got to get to, like I have this other person that I've got to show up for. And it's like, how often are we pouring into other people from a cup that's totally empty, you know? So yeah, I appreciate that answer. So that's business. That's Rviita. The other question, which needs to be asked, is what even is Rviita? Like, where did this tea
Hey, that's
name?
such a good question.
Where did this tea name come from?
You know what? When we were first starting, we had multiple other names. It was so hard to get a trademark. Fun fact, when we were first starting, we were actually going to call it Be Strong Energy. That was the name. We invested $10,000 into a logo, branding, packaging, and someone suggested to Mitch, I think it was a friend at the time, oh, did you do a trademark search on that? Mitch is like, what's a trademark search? Well, found out it was taken, so we had to pivot and choose something else. And it was, really difficult because if you go with a normal English word, almost everything at this point has been trademarked. So we knew that we would have to come up with a word, something similar to, like Nike. And Rviita came from the word revitalize, which means to imbue with new life and vitality, which was what we were trying to get after with our product. We picked unique spelling to get a trademark, but also the two I's symbolize my brother and I, or our community and family values. So that's where the name came from.
That is so sweet. It's so intentional. So intentional. See, these are things that you just wouldn't know by looking at it. I love that.
But for anybody wondering, like the name doesn't matter. We're just the juice in a pouch is what lots of people on the
Juice
internet.
in a pouch, yeah.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
You won't find any other things sitting in a pouch. Not that I've seen anyways. So I want to go a little bit more into like women in business because I feel like the audience listening, they will resonate a lot with that. And so obviously you come from an entrepreneur family, that background is there, it's in the blood. But from my own experience and other women who I've coached and spoken to, you have, like your capacity, but then we have people outside of us to push us. We have coaches, we have mentors, we have, our communities to keep us going. Who have been some of the best people maybe in your life, or what have you done to help push you and keep you going forward when you just don't want to?
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I'm so lucky to have my brother and my dad. Like they're just such amazing mentors. To be in business with someone I'm so close to, there's no way I ever could have started a business on my own. Like having my brother there has been amazing. And of course, our dad going through business himself, he's been such an incredible mentor. But in the early days, like I really looked, online for different influencers and books to read. And the number one person that Mitch and I followed and still follow today is Andy Frisella. Not sure if you're familiar with him. He's the founder of First Form, an amazing supplement brand in the US. He created 75 Hard and he's written books and he's got a podcast. And Mitch and I listened to every single episode when we were first getting started. And he talked about, it's called the MF CEO project. And, he talked about everything from like customer service, like how to come up with an idea and how to market. And we listened to every single one. And that helped us. And even on my days when I had no idea what I was doing, or if I just needed a kick in the ass, because that's his style, is he's kind of a no bullshit, tell it to you straight kind of guy. I would listen to that and it would push me and it would get me through. And even to this day, Mitch and I, like, we read so many different personal development books, different podcast interviews from people who are farther along. I think you constantly have to be learning and develop an attitude of humbling yourself, be in rooms where, you're the least smart person in the room. Like be in rooms, like put yourself in situations where you're around people that you can learn from and make a conscious effort every single day to learn something, whether it's like read a few pages of a book or listen to a podcast instead of music while you're driving. It's those little things and they add up over time.
Totally, totally. Oh, thank you for sharing. I knew you had to connect with Andy Frisella. And if those listening, if you haven't heard of him, he is very intense. I don't know if he's still that same level of intensity as he was like so many years ago, but he'll tell you straight how it is. And if you have any really of those limiting beliefs, he'll, I would say, help coach you through, even just in podcast, any of them, and tell you why they're all false and fake and bullshit, and that you just need to keep going. It's a very masculine approach. And also like podcasts, other podcasts, reading books, is there any women, because you mentioned your brother, your dad, Andy Frisella, is there any women who have really helped you step more into that feminine while also pushing forward in a, I mean, very masculine business itself is a very masculine thing to do.
That's such a good question. And in my own personal circle, I've been really fortunate. A good friend of mine, she's my sister-in-law too, Stacy Smolensky. She founded an acupuncture studio here in Calgary called AcuGlow. She has, I think, 12 employees now. She does amazing work there. And Stacy is a badass businesswoman. I'm so in awe of everything that she's built and in such a short period of time, but she does it very gracefully with a very holistic wellness approach. And I mean, she is the queen of self-care, you know?
Mhm.
And I think she has embodied that in her own personal life, but also into her brand as well, like owning a wellness studio and like really helping women with their health, their wellness, their hormones. And I see that in her personal life too. And so she's been an amazing resource for me, like on a personal level, because I look to her and I really follow in her footsteps.
Mhm.
But in terms of bigger influences, actually Andy Frisella's wife, Emily Frisella,
Mhm.
like she's written a book too. I follow her very closely. I've been so fortunate to meet her in person a couple times. And for, any women looking for more business-minded content for women, I'd look to her. She has a workshop that she hosts every year too called Women in Business. And it's a very no fluff, like no bullshit conference where she brings in speakers and they talk about business topics and things like this.
Mhm.
Because for me, I want to find that middle ground of not constantly like hustle, hustle, push all the time, but also staying away from that fluffy stuff too. Because I think there is a middle ground. Because the reality is, if you're going to have a business, whether you're a woman or a man, like you have to work your ass off. It's going to
Mhm.
require you to push yourself and
Yeah.
make sacrifices. But I do think that there is differences between men and women, how we're wired, our emotions, like how we self-regulate that are important to be mindful of too.
Totally, totally. Oh, you have such a good circle. I'm like, I need to meet Stacy.
You do need to meet Stacy.
She
You would
sounds
love
like a
her.
girl who is speaking my language. And I also 100% agree with you that there is this like this middle way that we can find in anything that we do, and really anything. And I've always said, like, you have to go out of balance to find balance. Because what do you
Hmm.
know? What do you know if you haven't, learned the opposite, which is where a lot of extremes tend to come in my life, which
Totally.
I've done that too, where I've gone like, balls to the walls as a woman, grinding, working my ass off 16 plus hours a day. And then I've gone to the other side where I'm like, well, I'm just gonna like manifest it and like it should happen.
It doesn't
And
work.
the thing is, neither of those work. Neither of those work for the long term. Yes, you can really grind and yes, you will see results, but it's not sustainable. It's
Yeah.
not something you can keep up for your entire life. And yes, you can lay and you can manifest and you can, let the dust settle, but you're not going to go forward and move anywhere from doing that. So it's really inspiring that you have those types of people in your life to help you now find kind of that middle ground, which again, where you are now, you seem so grounded. You seem to be moving forward in such a graceful way. You're able to take care of yourself. And to me, I'm like, that feels like
I
success.
appreciate it. It's taken a long time. I still feel like I have a long way to go, but I've come very far from how I started.
Well, that's the journey. That is the growth journey. So I have a couple final questions because you have given me so much
Oh,
of your time today, and I really appreciate it. And there's a few important things that I
absolutely.
think I want to know. Selfishly, this is my podcast, and
You can do whatever you
I think the
want.
audience would appreciate too. So you're into books. You said you read a lot of like personal development books. You listen to
Hmm.
podcasts. I'll give you three because I'm sure you've read a lot. Top three books that you would recommend to anyone who is interested in anything that we've spoken about today.
Oh, that's such a good one. I might have to think for a second, but a few that come to mind would be Everyday Hero Manifesto from Robin Sharma. I love that book.
Mhm.
It's every chapter is a different life lesson. I've read it a few times through. It's phenomenal. One book that has helped me a lot is called The Slight Edge. So it's talks about compounding interest, but of your habits.
Mm.
So like how small little things that you do like add up over time and build into your discipline bank. So that's a really good one. And another one that I've always loved is The 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins. You
Love
like
that
that
one.
book too? I love Mel Robbins. She's got such a great podcast too. Actually, in terms of female influencers to follow, I really get a
She's
lot of value
good
from
one.
her.
Yeah, I love that you said that book too. I haven't read the first two, but the 5 Second Rule was one that I read quite early on in my, I guess, like personal development journey, and I still use it.
I still use it all
Yeah.
the time to get out of bed every morning. You just count down from 5 and you
Yeah.
make yourself do it.
It's such a good one. It's always those simple concepts that
Mhm.
are sometimes the most impactful. Those are great. Awesome. I'll have to check out the other two.
Yeah, you bet.
Second question, I only have three, is I just lost it. What was I going to ask you?
I can't read your mind,
I know.
Christy.
Oh,
Better make it good.
I got it. It's good. What is lighting you up outside of business right now?
That's a good question. The thing that lights me up more than anything is being in the mountains. I am a huge hiker. I just love being outside. I've been hiking like ever since my early 20s, like anything to do in the mountains, backpacking, just a quick day hike. Anytime I can get out with no cell service
Yeah.
outside, I'm a way happier person.
Love it. We'll have to go on a hike.
We will very soon.
Maybe the community hike.
Yeah, September 6th, if anyone wants to come.
Oh,
Group
sweet.
hike. We're doing it in Bragg Creek this year.
Okay, if I'm around, I will.
We'd love to
frequently
have you there. It's
Yeah.
always so much fun.
Fun. Okay, final question. How do you define success?
That is a good question, and it's changed over the years. For me, I think for me, I mean, of course, when you're first getting started on an entrepreneurship or a personal development journey and you're following these influencers, you know, like the Andy Frisellas and the Tim Grovers of the world, I thought success was strictly financial success and business success. And I thought that's what would motivate me was, you know, building something that could bring me wealth one day. That's evolved a lot because there's no way in hell that if that was the only thing motivating me that I would still be here because this journey has been so unbelievably hard. And so while of course like I do have big aspirations for myself, you know, like I want to live on an acreage one day. Of course, I think having material aspirations is a motivating factor and it's very valid. For me, success is more purpose driven. When I get to the end of my life, I want to look back and think, wow, like I took the risks, I did the best that I could do, I was a good person, I made an impact, I made people feel good about themselves, like I helped other people. So success for me is being on a journey that is purpose driven and, you know, that I took care of myself. Like health is wealth too. I've had a couple health scares in the last couple years. It's not fun. So I have, you know, huge appreciation for my body and my health and also family relationships. And for me, like my relationship with God is so important. Like those are the things that I prioritize more than anything. So if I can have those things, you know, the nice house on the acreage and the nice car one day would be nice, but it does not define success for me. If I have all those other things, then I will consider it a successful life.
That is so beautiful.
Thanks,
So,
Kelsey.
so, see, you're just the most wholesome human in the whole
Aw.
world. I love that answer. I lied. I had one last question, but this is an easy one.
Okay.
Where can people find Rviita? Where can they find you if they're like, I need to try those teas?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Yeah.
So we're in about 1,200 stores all across Canada. So here in Calgary, you can find us at select Costco's now, which is so exciting. We're in Superstore, Calgary Co-op, Safeway, Sobeys, online from our website, Amazon. We're pretty much everywhere now and growing, which is really exciting.
Amazing. Order them on Amazon if you're sitting at home and it's late at night. Order them. They'll
Yeah.
get there by tomorrow.
Prime delivery.
Yes. Love it. Or go to Costco because we love Costco.
You do love Costco.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much,
Thank
Marley.
you, Lucy. I think you're doing amazing things with your work and with this show, and it's an honor to be on it. So
You
thank
are
you.
so sweet. It's an honor to have you here too. If we're gonna drink some teas, probably not now because there's a lot of caffeine
Yeah,
in
it'll
it.
keep you
But
going.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.